Oh wait, I'm supposed to get to the point. Hey guys, what's up? It's old Hankering Furnail back once again with Drunkards and Dragons, and let's get right into it. Heaven forbid that I have any fun doing these videos. I must have reached a certain critical mass of scale in my awesome viewership because I get these comments that are like, just get to the point in your video. It's like, or there's a great one came up yesterday, which is like, man, you give some good advice, but holy shit, are you annoying? It's like, okay, well, good to have you then. Thanks for stopping by. Stay classy, San Diego. Hey everybody, yeah, it's Hankering here. So today we're going to be working on some of the finish work for the ICRPG Expansion 2. So it's been exactly 2 months today since ICRPG came out. It's still in the top 5 on DriveThruRPG, which is just crazy and awesome. So thanks everybody for supporting and getting in there and really chewing on it. So what I've been working on is fixing all the little stuff that everybody has been finding, integrating all of the additional materials that were in Expansion 1, so they're now in the core PDF. The PDF actually has a frickin' cover right now. I'm integrating all of the print and play stuff into a single print and play file that comes with it and just cleaning everything up, and then also adding a few new tidbits, and the biggest of which being there are now 5 adventures included in the core book. So, pursuant to that, I need to do this map for the second adventure, which comes in the core book now, which is called DOOMVAULT. So it's just a pretty classic dungeon crawl, and I have a lot of the writing done in my journal, but now I need to kind of, boil it into its final form. So, hello everybody, thanks for watching, and who do we have over here just kind of peeking around? Already 50 of you hanging out. This is just awesome, so welcome. Yeah, this illustration that you're seeing on my desktop is a commission that I did, and that material is not released yet, so I'm just going to let that little mystery kind of slide under the door for now. But suffice it to say, cool things are being made by cool people all around me, and every once in a while I get to participate. So let's pop up Photoshop, and if I don't notice all of the brilliance going on in the chat line, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means I'm engrossed in my own madness. So let me get a little bit of work done here first. And then there's also some crazy announcements because we're coming up on August, and that comes with some nutty news. So the tone that I'm going for, a lot of you who have the PDF or the hard copy of ICRPG will probably recognize this little map. This map is sort of the starter point of the game mastery section in the book, and this map is never explained exactly what this adventure is or what these rooms are or the story or anything here, but this is the style that I want to hit for this map that I'm about to do so that you get that kind of linkage. So I just wanted to have it here kind of sitting here waiting so that I can make sure that I get a good matchup, right? And just kind of, it doesn't have to be pixel for pixel or something, but I wanted to use similar line weight and similar kind of tricks and style. So let's think about this. Okay, the DOOMVAULT. So first of all, we have the ground. So the DOOMVAULT is beneath the city of Norberg, which, as you guys know, maybe, is the largest city on Ayr. So Ayr is my thinly cloaked reference to the English islands. And then down at the south tip, normally where London would be, I've replaced it with this city called Norberg. And Norberg is kind of this Viking metropolis, which is ruled by 3 kings. And they have this kind of, sort of open policy to their rulership, which is that the 3 greatest heroes of the day can sit as the kings of the realm. It's not just lineage. It's not just a classic monarchy. So really quick, I just need to get Norberg sketched in here. The city, or the adventure, does not take place in Norberg, so this is purely for flavor and reference. And maybe your party would have a little bit of shenanigans in Norberg itself before you found out about this adventure. Maybe you would be sort of commissioned or hired to do this adventure. You know, there's all kinds of things that can happen in a city. Me personally, I've really started to prefer the adventure writing style that's in Warp Shell, which is you're sort of brought to a place with no knowledge of why you're there. And the opening sort of beats or moments of the adventures tend to be like, why are we here and what needs to be done? Why were we brought here? And you guys know how I am. It's like I like to move past a lot of the sort of the interim gameplay, and that sort of story mechanism really moves you through quickly. So this is just a starter here on Norberg. It's not that great. It's just kind of some little blocky shapes, whatever. Maybe there's some little houses out front, stuff like that, right? It's just no big deal. I don't really want to get into it because it's not really the focus. It's just this is Norberg. Okay, so now if you see me like sort of looking down to my left here, I do have my journal, and this is where the rough version of the map lives. So I did kind of write a lot of the guts of this out, but I mean my journals are just sloppy pen mania, so you can't really just scan that and put in a book. It's just awful. So you got to kind of cook it down into something presentable, something that your mom would be proud of. Okay, so the city kind of extends here out into more of a hamlet, and it sits on the edge of these big sort of Dover-style cliffs, right? Again, Eyre in Alfheim is really just my thinly veiled version of England. Well, the United Kingdom would be the proper way to say it. So the landscape over here kind of goes to an indeterminate location that doesn't really matter for the story. So here we go. We're back in the Brotherhood of Trees. This is a little different resolution of trees, though, because these are like side view trees. So you can kind of be a little chunkier with them. But as you guys know, I design a lot of my gameplay from the side. That could be an affectation of my video game career, or it's a very simple way to perceive story. Whereas I think drawing from the top view, you can get into a lot of geometric work that really isn't going to translate into story, especially if you're playing like Theater of the Mind or with looser mapping. You know, drawing from the top doesn't have as many dividends for me, usable table dividends, as drawing from the side. Okay, so here we go. There we go. There, was that intro short enough? Did we get to the point quick enough? Oh man, trolls, they're just beautiful, beautiful people. What would the world be without them? All cooperative and positive, how weird would that be? Okay. Yeah, I use a 24 Cintiq or 23 Cintiq. Okay, great. So this just sets the tone that like, whoa, we're under the cliffs. Okay, so that's the only reason that I really wanted to do this. Now already it just bugs me to hell, and I can't overlook it, which is this architecture here is not what I wanted. I didn't want this curving architecture. I'm not sure why that happened to me, but it did. So I'm going to face the music here. It just drives me nuts. So this town should have much more blocky architecture. This is a town of Vikings and shipbuilders and stuff. Like, yeah, I know Vikings don't really hang out in England, but as my comment about the Visigoths from the stream the other day proves, like my knowledge of medieval history is nowhere near what I would hope it to be. So these are Vikings, and that's just how it's going to be. Because Vikings. Or like we were saying last night, because Vincent Price. That's why. All right. Anytime you cite a noun, be it proper or general noun, as a reason for a thing, that's when you know you're ballin'. All right, that's much better. I know that's not a big difference, but man, that was just bugging the heck out of me. Oh, Hankern, you're losing it. Why you doing curved balustrades for a Viking city, you sucker? All right, and then likewise, like these shouldn't be like this. These should be defensible structures. Not freaking Harry Potter pointy tower things. There we go. Much better. Okay. Whew. Man, my instincts really acting up on me there. Just like, dude, no. No. Hey, greetings from Germany, man. Good to see you. I do digital art as a profession. You're watching me do my profession right now. I am doing my profession. Runehammer is my profession. Okay. So, hey, that's looking cool. Boy, look at those trees. Look at those happy little trees living in a happy little glen together. Just listening to Exit Deluculo and Green Sleeves as the eons weigh. Okay. Now we need to get to the real stuff. So we need to get these cliffs to extend downward. And then we got a few little breaks in the cliffs here. We got a little thingy like this, which all cool cliffs have. And then you just kind of come off the wrinkles and follow them to their conclusion. Let your lines kind of overlay a little bit. And there you go. There's the bottom of your cliff. Cliff goes up with some more sort of... I'm not sure what this, if it's called folding or what, but there's a sort of a name, I think, for that technique of drawing a wrinkled line like this. Then you take wherever there's a wrinkle and you pull a line down off of it. And it gives you this kind of drapery kind of effect. Especially when you can draw good, unlike me. Okay, there you go. I don't need all this data, so a little less data would be nice. There you go. Cool! So some player will see that on the map and be like, hey, can I go up there? And you'll say yes. Yes, you can. And you can make a home for yourself there and be a hermit and die alone. All right. So here is the entrance to the Doom Vault. Oh, there it is. So, doing cave entrances is always just like you draw a shape and fill in most of it and leave a little back wall, super simple. Okay, cool, man, cool. There we go. So we're on our way. Before I lose my work here, which I do a lot, because I just really get into the moment, and then like 2 hours later, I'm like jamming out to Prodigy or something, and I step on my power strip. And that's how I do things. Okay, cool. So we're sort of underway here. So the first part, and I don't really want to walk you guys through everything here. I wouldn't consider it a spoiler, but I don't really want to give away all the tidbits. But there's this sort of long entrance corridor called the Pattern. And I think it was the Amber books where this idea came from. If you guys are familiar with those books, they have this weird like maze-like pattern under a castle. And like magicians like walk this weird maze pattern on their knees, and it takes them like years to do, and their knees get all bloody and weird. It's like, whoa. It's all heavy metal and stuff. Okay, I can tell too my size is probably going to get a little out of hand, so I might have to increase my canvas just a bit as I work. And never feel bad about doing that. So this is just a spiral stair here. And it's sort of a particular, so I wanted to give it a little more detail than I would normally give such a thing. And, you just kind of do these little... God, I made it so steep it's like a water slide. All right, there we go. Whoop! You just draw these little C shapes. And then later you go in and you break the upper line with a line like that, and then you get this kind of spirally look. And, there's a way to do, much more sort of 3D realized spiral shapes, but this is just a little trick that I've been using over the years just to get the message across quickly. You guys know how I am with all that. No patience. No patience, no rigor. Where's the rigor, man? Not a superhero you want to be. Rigor man. He does everything by the rules. Very rigorous. All right, and then there's sort of a little parapet here where you step on. And I think that's about it. So there we have our sort of intro space to the Doom Vault. Okay. Oh, hey, thanks for the banner, man. I'll get down to the post office Oh, it got here Monday. Okay, great. I need to get down there. I've been pretty much dead since Saturday. I got my hands on some bad sushi, so as a sushi lover, I know it's part of the risk. But it's never happened to me before until now, and oh, lordy lord, there's a reason they put a warning on that shit. Oh my god, I got my butt kicked. I was like laying in the dirt at one point. We went fishing, and I was just like, I need to take a break, and I just laying in the dirt. Just like passed out in the dirt, just dying. All right, so next we have this sort of lake space. So here's where you get into what could be a little more challenging for your sort of 2.5D kind of drawing style here, which is you want to kind of show a bit of a floor plan, but without going top down. So you kind of do this little jam right here. See that? And then you kind of draw the back wall like that. So it's like the world sort of tipped for absolutely no good reason. Just so that you get to see more as the DM. You get more of those dividends that you're looking for. Right? And then here's your classic kind of Vermithrax ceiling right here. And as Nathrak, that's a totally different movie, but it's just what popped in my mind. Urthos Bethad Infierdiene. All right. Hey, look, stalactites. Look at here. Stalactites. All right, so I'm going to actually ditch this back shoreline, and I'm going to draw it second so that I can do some stalagmites. Oh, Lord. Behavioral malfunctions. Problems. Socially maladjusted. I'm just like in my room right now, you know, like at least you guys are normal, like at your computer watching this. I'm this weird guy. This is how you fix food poisoning. Get the biggest freaking Gatorade you can, and then get another one. Eat some bread and some chicken tonkatsu. Pow! You gonna live, baby. You gonna live again. You can't keep a good DM down. Woo! All right. Well, I went Will Smith with it there for a second. Your DM for this evening will be Will Smith. Woo! All right. So this is this sort of lake cave that I want to do. And then what is this going on here? Okay, then it goes into this kind of weird. Then we get more into the sort of structural dungeon. So let me get myself some Mo canvas. Maybe a little bit more on the verticals as well. Boop, there we go. And then give me some white base there, and we go. Okay, on we go. You got to see me use menus. Yeah, I use, I think it's a 23 Cintiq. I had a 27 over at Carbon. But what's that? Is the history here? Let me move this just a little bit so I can see the beginnings of the posts. There we go. Is history for this fully fleshed out, or you're coming up with your go? Brian Wilson, I do have a sort of sketch to my left here. That's why I kind of keep looking down like that. But I would not call it fully fleshed out. This is this is a long way from that. But usually what I'll do is I can see it in my head, and once it's sort of visible in my head, then I know I'm ready to kind of lock it down on paper. And then as it is created on paper, it'll really take its much more finished form. So little wiggly lines to imply a giant staircase. And then the tunnel. Okay, then you always need these little guys, right? There you go. You got a little teeny staircase there. Then you go another one of these kind of uncanny straight lines, which is just holding ye old shift button. But then do your second one without holding ye old shift button. And it'll relieve that kind of overly digital looking super perfect line problem, which can really make a drawing look kind of soulless sometimes. Okay, so here we have another entrance. I don't like that last thing I did. There we go. And then it has this weird ceiling. Like, this is strange, man. It's like that. It's like that weird back chamber in the Roll Arena, like behind the arcade machine with the sloping ceiling where like you're 9 years old and you freak out. Okay, that got a little personal. Then there's a effing... Is this supposed to be a shaft? That's insanity. Oh, it's a staircase coming toward me. Well, what's that supposed to tell me as a DM? That is useless. So let's not do that. That's dumb. I do a lot of dumb things. Let's do this instead. Like that. And then down. And then we got some chambers down here. So I need to make sure I descend far enough. There we go. So this is like a Lovecraft scale staircase here. There you go. Just do your little frosting bits on the side. And then just do your little horizontal lines. Whoop, 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 whoop. And don't worry about scale or anything. You're just trying to give clues that can lead to story. Not the beard, that's kind of what you're visualizing. How do these stairs change direction and zigzag like that? Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. And then you just do little vertical lines on the front of your little horizontal lines, and then it turns into stairs. Boot, 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 boot. There you go. Just love the canvas. Just love the canvas. It's your world. Make some decisions. There we go. Okay, so feeling good. I have total perspective shenanigans. Oh God, I got popcorn. I think I have popcorn in my throat again. Oh! All right, I feel a painful lack of lines up here, so I'm gonna just do some lines. I don't know what these are. They're cracks in the heart of the earth. Boogie, 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 boogie. There we go. Talent is pursued interest. Bob Rost. Awesome. Yeah, that swing arm thing, Cheyenne, is pretty cool. I just find that if I work in those lap type positions, the sort of compass effect of my arm is just ruined. I don't know. Maybe I haven't put enough time into it. It certainly looks cool. Okay, so I want to do this symbol. I think this symbol was diamond based, and it's in this other adventure that I'm working on, and there's a sort of a weird connection between the two that I haven't quite figured out yet, but I know it'll be awesome someday. And then there's little letters along here, and there's some kind of little mural about some weird crap. It's like there's a picture of one of your characters etched into stone. And they're like, what? What? Huh? Could that be the annoyingness that one of my viewers was talking about? No, it couldn't be it. Huh? Are you really saying anything or just going, huh? All right. That's my C-3PO impression. I'm making a dungeon. Me too, Xenon. Just love the canvas. Just love the canvas. Now, there's a sort of secondary little piece here which comes off this way and down to a chamber here. And again, just so that there's still some fun in the new release that's coming, I'm not going to reveal everything about the story and the mechanics here. But suffice it to say, there is a sarcophagus. I mean, what good adventure doesn't have a sarcophagus or two in it, right? Hey, where's the sarcophagus in this adventure? I demand a no country for old sarcophagi. Okay, cool. So there's this little side chamber real quick. And, later I'll add some notation on here and some other stuff. I'm finally able to catch a stream. Hey, Merc G, that's difficult to pronounce. Your style spurs me to draw. That's good, man. I love to see people driven to create. It's a good feeling. I'm not sure what the actual sort of existential value is of being creative all the time, but something in my gut tells me it's good for us as people. Creating is good for your heart. Sometimes not so good for your posture and your butt. Okay. Now here's where things get a little funky. A little funkotronic. So I'm trying to draw this freehand because I don't like holding shift. It just makes my lines look so dead. So I'm just getting my arm in position so I get a clean pull and just get a really straight line. There we go. See that? So rather than scribble my way through it, I'll just try the same line with different arm positions until I can get that nice clean pull. Because a tiny bit of curvature in a so-called straight line is part of what can make a hand-drawn drawing look so much more charming than like a sort of a CAD style drawing or a draftsman style drawing, which can sometimes seem a little lifeless. Sometimes, not a hard rule. Okay, so there's this kind of strange set of raised surfaces down here. And this is where all the crazy shit's going to go down. And in my sketch, this is complete garbage how I drew this, so I'm going to have to kind of come up with something. So I'm sure you guys have been through that problem. It's like you're doing a sketch, and at the time you're like, oh yeah, this will be fine. I don't really need any more detail here. And then later you look at it, and you're just like, what the hell is that thing? Is that a traffic cone with like a birthday hat on? Like, what am I seeing? Hey everybody, good to have you guys who normally don't make it. That's kind of one of the reasons I just went midday. I mean, what the hell? We've been going since noon, Nathan, and thanks for stopping by. Stay classy. So I'm actually going to look down at my... Oh, okay, that's what these guys are. So these are actual, like, almost moai type figures here. You guys are familiar with the moai. There we go. See my little moai? Hey, that's not bad. That is not a bad little moai. Okay, then there's a second one here. He's not as good. I got all gassed up on myself and then did a crummy one. Okay, so he's got some shadows on him. This guy has some shadows. I got some little flecks of stoniness. Stay back. Don't make me use the flecks of stoniness, or you'll get hella stony. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so there's my little moai, guys. And when I get into the mechanics of what this room is, these guys will make a lot of good sense, or so I hope. And I think what I need is like a sort of an eyeshadow to give them the... I'm going to be like Pat Benatar here. I'm going to go with extra eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to toop, and I'm going to toop, and then I'm going to toop, and then I'm going to toop. There we go. Cool. That's kind of the idea. Okay, so now beyond these guys, we have, one of these big sort of vertical... weird doors. The best one of these weird vertical doors, where there's two classic ones. One's in Conan the Destroyer. The other one is in Underworld Rise of the Lycans. Anyway. Wow. Just freaking wow. DM Scotty is in the place to beep. Okay, cool. So we're kind of getting there now. Now I got this sort of final zone, and this is where things get a little kooky. So I need to do some X-ray stuff, if you can believe that. So you're gonna think I'm a little nutty here. So I'm gonna whoop. So remember our cliffs from earlier? These cliffs end in the bloody sea. So here's the shoreline. And then we kind of go, again, we go from 2D and 3D just sort of mix, and who cares, right? It's just like perspective, side view, map, 3D drawing, who cares? It's just, as long as it's fun and gives you ideas. And also, I want to erase some of these lines. So I want the surf to be crashing here, again, to kind of suggest what could be played here. Oh, curved lines. That must be the crashing ocean. Because I can't really draw, so I'll just... There we go. There we go. Okay, anyway, this isn't even what I was going to do. I got all sidetracked again. What I'm supposed to do is start about here and do this kind of... Instead of just drawing the line dotted, I'll use an eraser for that. But look at this. What's this, you ask? What is that, Hankering? You out your dwarven mind? Okay, just hold on with me for a second. Look at this. This is just craziness here, and you'll see in just a second. You're probably starting to see where my madness is leading. Okay, so now, since we're sort of in double X-ray mode, I want to suggest that by dotting these lines. So I just go in with my eraser and I just do these little incremental erases. Now, you can't do that with a Sharpie, I know, and I'm sorry for that. But, you know, there's no way I can ever diss on Photoshop. I mean, I love my Sharpies, but Photoshop is... I've been using Photoshop since it was released. Before that, I used PageMaker, and I was using like drawing and layout applications. Actually, before really that, I did a lot of video gaming. I never really did a lot of video gaming, to be completely frank. I know people who are gamers, and I don't think I could handily call myself a video gamer, or honestly call myself one. I didn't even finish Breath of the Wild, you guys. And that game's amazing, and I didn't even finish it. Okay, so these dotted lines, my sort of double X-ray, because right, we're already seeing an X-ray by seeing the dungeon, but these are X-ray within X-ray. So I'm going to actually label these right now. So this is the sea floor. And then here, we have this, which is like this drain that's going through this room. How crazy is this? So the lake here, and then let's just to really drive it home, we'll have a drain from the surface. Like this. This is great. Okay, and this is how that flow is entering. Because, you know, anytime you really want to sort of have fun with water in your space, you need to sort of explain a little bit, at least enough for it to be believable, where it came from and where it's going, right? So here I have water entering from the surface. It pools in this big lake. It drains down through this narrowing lake cavity and then shoots through this crazy trapezohedral room in the form of this nutty drain. Because Vincent Price. All right. Pow, pow. Get those lines. Don't use shift. Make it look cool. Make it look human. All right. Shift is also something you don't get to use when you're doing a Sharpie. So now I need to match my water styles. You see how I messed that up? The water style in the lake chamber is way, way better. So I drew this like garbage because I got excited. Yep, so if you see me doing weird things with my arm, it's so I can get that pull angle. Big fan of the theory of pulling. Okay, so now I'm just going to fill in the water black. And again, I'm sorry, you can't do this with Sharpie. But it's beautiful. Take your eraser and then like do some highlights. And there you go. So the water comes in up here. And it looks like actually water is sort of being represented as black. So I'm going to go ahead and live up to that by doing this black. And then I'll use my eraser to kind of draw a little bit of rippling and a little bit of waves. Keep you remembering that it's water. But I think it could be good too to fill in underground water as black too, to like mine for clues that a DM or a player could use. Like it's this black lake. Is that actually the name of the space? The Black Lake? Because if it's not, it should be. So now I'm going to fill this little gusher in again so they can all fit. There we go. So I know I talk a lot about, not going back and not redoing and everything, but hey, man, you do what you got to do, baby. Okay, so here's some little, draw your little bird shapes for waves. And then, so there's the pour in, right? And then there's the pour out. So now it makes more sense. So let me go there. And then this is making some ripples. Little splashies and dots. There we go. Cool. So there now you can see how the black links down through. And I'm just going to, just to make sure that everyone gets what I'm doing here. And by everyone, I mean, the DM or whoever's looking at this map. Right, so there's this draining current. There you go. And the current runs down through the Black Lake, through this bottom chamber, and out below the seafloor. And like, whoa! That should give you some fun hints about what could happen toward the end of this adventure. And there is the fundamental circuitry of the map. So now my remaining work is to get my sort of, I always talk about like ink weight or ink levels or black balance to fully fit. So if you can see like the Black Lake area of the map, your eye just constantly returns there. And the only balance from that area is the city because there's some heavy black fill. And then the rest of the map looks like it's not done. And functionally, the map is totally done. But it just doesn't balance and your eye doesn't sit where it should sit. So I need to fill more things in as black so that you get a balanced read on everything. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm sure there's some kind of word in art theory about what that is. About how more filled in areas will draw your eye and so forth. I'm sure there's some cool word. But I don't know that stuff. I have a few friends who I think are a bit scandalized by my lack of proper technique. Scandalized. So what am I doing? I am just filling in stuff. I'm not doing anything. It's kind of just, my whole approach of like draw something you already drew again with a bit of variation and fill in the variation and you get like some cool stuff. Also, a little bit of like stray line here and there can imply rockiness. I sometimes put these little sort of brackety shapes on the edge of things and they kind of suggest maybe there's brickwork or masonry of some kind. Another great way to do masonry is do some horizontal lines and then do like alternating verticals like that. And it's just kind of like, oh, look, there's sort of some bricky things. What are they? I don't know. Does it really matter? No, not really. I just want some weight in the map that'll keep your eye moving around in an organic fashion. Like, what is this thing on the ceiling here? I'm not sure. It's some kind of thing that some player will probably think is more important than I thought it was. And they'll come up with some cool mechanic I never dreamed of. Okay, so in here I never really finished. We have this kind of three-pronged shape with this funny guy on the ceiling. And in my sketch I have these little happy glow lines, so I'm not sure what I was doing, but I'm just going to go with it. And then you got these little guys. Looks like some kind of ceremonial space. And then you kind of have a little lead into it with these other little verticals. It's like the devil worshipper red carpet kind of effect as you walk in. Foom bala foom. Chala doom fala boom. Muka luka joom bala boom bala foom boom. Oh, these aren't Satan worshippers. They're worshiping Foom Bala Boom. Well, then turn up the bass and grant me some potatoes. All right. So here's this little thing. I don't know what this little thing is. It's some kind of little ceremonial hoop-de-doop. And I don't like the round tips on these lines, so I'll just chop them off like that. There we go. All right, cool. So now I'm just going to do a little bit of floor reinforcement to keep my ink balance process going. I'm at this bizarro angle so I can get some clean pulls here. Whoa! I'm falling off the desk. That's probably where the swing arm on the Cintiq might be cool, is you could kind of spin it and stuff. Yeah, it is totally a disco ball. Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh cool, I didn't know Jake did an interview on Nerdarchy. That's great. Do the... Oh yeah, like this kind of thing. It's a bit on the nose for a map, but it is fun. It's the disco ball of death. Let's go to the techno disco. Let's go to the techno disco and die. Alright. Still doing the same process, which is just finalizing weight. And it's a little weird to be drawing the whole thing and not walking you guys through all the mechanics, but I just want to hold my tongue a little bit. There's got to be some reason to buy the book, right? I'm peddling my wares. Please buy candy. If you buy candy, I can go to summer camp. Ooh, hey, that's a good segue, actually. Good God, I get excited about the stupidest crap. Yeah, that's a good segue. Forget my dumb excitement. Summer camp. Summer. What's happening in August that I alluded to earlier? I will tell you. Will this be uploaded to YouTube? Yes. All of these sessions that I do are all archived. Hey, that's cool, Jake. Yeah, Dave seems like a groovy dude. Oh, yeah. So, I'm about to go on a D&D pilgrimage. So I wanted to announce it today because all of the plans, what there is of them, are really getting final. So that's kind of crazy. Basically, what I'm going to do is by myself, I'm going to go on my Harley and I'm going to ride across Canada and play D&D with cool people along the way and hopefully get lost on some back roads and have a good time and just camp the whole way pretty much and couch surf. And then I'm going to kind of curve my way down by the Great Lakes and I'm going to go to GenCon. I'll probably be pretty grungy by then, so it'll probably take me a couple weeks to get there, just because I tend to meander on the back roads and stuff. But that's the plan. So I'm going to leave like August 4th or 5th, and then I'm going to get to GenCon. And so everyone who's going to GenCon on that Friday, that GenCon Friday, which I believe is the 17th or so, I'm going to post up hopefully in like the GenCon bar. I'm sure they'll have one, and I'll post my location for everybody. And over the past 2 years, tons of people have been wanting to sort of raise a mug with me, and this is your chance. So I don't know what I'm going to do as far as playing games at GenCon or meeting people or trying games. I know nothing about GenCon. I've never been. Or is it GenCon? I don't even know. But either way, if you come out, I will be at a bar that will hopefully not be beyond the ticket place. So if you don't have tickets to Gen Con or GenCon, doesn't matter. Come drink beer with me. That will be, I don't know where, is Toronto the east end of Canada? I'm not going to go that far. That's too much Canada. I'm not going to go into, is it Quebec? I don't know anything about Canada, but I'm basically going to go up. I'm going to go into Banff. I'm going to sleep there. I'm going to go into Calgary and kick it with some people. Then I'm going to go through Saskatchewan, like on the back roads, which I hear is going to be crazy because it's just like huge prairie. And then I'm going to come down to Winnipeg, and I'm going to kick it for a couple nights at Black Magic Crafts house. We're going to play some D&D. And then I'm going to come on down by the Great Lakes, by Thunder Bay and stuff. through Ann Arbor maybe. I don't know. I don't know that part of the country, so I'm just going to wing it when I go over there and follow my gut. And depending on how much time I have, when you're traveling by yourself on a bike, it can be very unpredictable what happens. It can be very hard on your body. It can be very, it takes a lot of a lot of skeletal power. And especially sort of camping time and time again. Vanderpike, I might come back through North Dakota, but I'm not going to zigzag that much on the way out. But I might come back through North Dakota. But yeah, Ann Arbor is down there by Jake and everybody, and so I thought I might come through that. That's kind of a central zone. I think I have ticks in my nose. There's like 40 ticks that have taken up residence in my nostrils. So anyway, that's what's going on. So I'm just like going on this solo voyage of complete craziness. I'm trying to not really map it out, so I'm not sure what routes I'm going to take or where I'm going to wind up or when. But it's going to be fun. So if I bump into you along the way, that'll be great. I'll live stream when I can on the voyage, but it's a straight up D&D pilgrimage on my bike by myself, like camping in the elements with my horse blanket and my tarp. It's going to be nuts. It may not sound that crazy, but if you've ever gone on a huge trip alone on a motorcycle just camping, it's pretty crazy. It gets pretty crazy. The lack of shelter factor is very tangible. Like when you go on a road trip, you always have your car, which is like a miniature house. But a motorcycle is nothing like a miniature house. Okay, so I think I'm about good to go with my DOOMVAULT map. I got about where I wanted to be. That was about 45 minutes of work. So that's cool. And now I just need to label it. Like I'll put these little, this kind of stuff on there and, get it all labeled out like that. So I'm going to do that part on my own in the privacy of my own space. I'm going to finish this little session by adding a school of fish. These happy little fishes. Look at these wonderful little fish just swimming down here, reminding you that this is underwater. And I know that fish don't let off bubbles, but I don't care. Look at those little bubbles. Look at that. Look at those cute little bubbles. They're just living down there under the sea, not hurting anyone. Okay. Nice. 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 Way to root yourself on, buddy. Nice. Okay. Cool. Hitting the save button. Putting the pen down. And kadoosh. There we go. All right. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Yeah, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is a good book. Right now I'm reading Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, which is also a really great book. Yeah, so I've been doing plan. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. So I should be on the road for a total of about 3 weeks. So that's quite a while to be out in the elements. But sometimes you just need to get out there and sort of be alone on those big stretches of road and get away from everything and reboot your whole brain and your whole perception of life, which actually it kind of getting food poisoning here and for like 5 days, like being just completely incapacitated. Like a few times I tried to look at my notebook, I couldn't put any concepts together. I had like splitting headache and body pain like for the whole time and just I couldn't do a damn thing. And the moral of the story is not that like looking for pity, but it gave me such a huge appreciation of what we do, what all of you guys do, how we do this creative hobby and just have fun with it. And it's amazing how we do it. And when you can't do it because you're incapacitated, you get this real appreciation for it. And that's another reason to get out in the elements, at least for me, is to get out and get away and remember how great all these little privileges and little pieces of fortune that we have in our lives are and how much they're really worth. So, hell yeah. So, there it is. I will see all of you who can meet me up at Gen Con, and that will be great to have a beer with everybody. I would like to sort of try Monty Cook's new game, Invisible Sun, and anything else that may come my way. who knows what's going to happen. So it's going to be fun. So I'm going to sign off for now. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and stay tuned. And if you have ICRPG already, you're going to be getting a notification probably next week for Expansion 2 coming out. So you can come and you can download new materials that are going to be much improved and consolidated. Especially if you're a digital player, like you play on a tablet or something, it's going to be a far cleaner experience. And this is like this part of this journey towards 2nd edition. So the hard copies are going to update on a much longer time scale. But the PDF, we're just going to all keep on working on it together. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And strength, honor, and, of course, a cold, delicious beer. I will catch you the next time. And recursion. And, oh, wait, I don't even have to do recursion anymore. Look at this. I think there's a stop button somewhere else. Okay, see you guys next time. Later. Oh!